Last time these sides met, Eliza were easy victors. This time it's a qualifying final. Going to be a ripper. Hendry and Hammond in the ruck. Hammond wins the first one. Breen off the square, straight through. Handball to Hammond. He gets well tackled by Potts. Handball back inboard now, looking for Marshall. Finds him. Cops one a little bit high. Umpire saw it. So he'll get the free kick for that as centre half back. So the Bulldog, Lockie Marshall. Just goes in with a short one for Hendry. Wasn't a great kick, lands short of him, so he's got to move it on quickly. Goes back to Marshall, who goes with a rush kick, comes off. Lucky finds Scanlon in the middle of the ground. Looks out towards half forward. He's got Parker, who managed to get some space on DeWitt. Takes a mark about 60 out from goal. Probably too far out to score, I would have thought, so he'll sit it on Edwards' head. Edwards, that's his move now. Goes. Wasn't a great kick, falls short of him. Manages to get a fisted away, though. Spills in towards the front of goal. Tennant comes out to meet it. Gives a handball out to Gill, who then goes to Blaine Coates. Goes with a short one. Hendry, though, standing in the middle of the ground, chops it off. Nice short kick. Finds his brother. And that's Guy Hendry. So Guy Hendry takes a mark about 50 out from goal. And he's certainly got the distance to kick this one. He'll take a good kick. He'll probably have the accuracy. But whether he's got the distance, that's the question. He'll kick from about 55. McGannon stands a mark. He runs and jumps. He sets the ball sail now. That body trying to work it back. Stayed left. Goes through for a minor score. So Pines first on the scoreboard. Goes through for a minor score. So the ball brought back in. The ball back in the middle of the ground. DeWitt wins that centre clearance, goes up towards half forward. Capkin gets it fisted away nicely by Johns. Looks like he's going to have the roll on Capkin today. And it's going to be Jack Fisher that gets the job on Moncrief. So very interesting ones. So the ball at half back. Board up, it'll be Hammond and it'll be Hendry. Hendry decisively, McGannon though first on it, gives a sweeping handball, chopped off by Hendry, just goes with a big fist up towards the middle of the ground, chopped off there by Nelms, who just whacks it up towards half forward. Hendry drops a sitter, first of the ball was Scanlon, he gets jumped on, umpires wrap him up. So at half forward for the Redlegs, Hendry and Hammond to do the ruck work. Hendry again, he's winning that battle early in the ruck, is Hendry, but it's Eliza that are reading it well and getting their hands on the footy. That time it was Landry, but he was quickly wrapped up. So boys, Geordie King, he's on us with the stats today, mate. Welcome. Brodie Cowburn, he's out from the elements into the box today. Vossi, he's up in the finals watching Morty Alec, and Shaw Pass is up in the snow. So we've got the subs in today, and I'm sure they'll do a good job. Welcome, boys.
Thank you for having us.
So, Pines boys, they drew first blood, and unfortunately we're having a few technical difficulties here.
Speaking difficulties too.
And Pines kicked the first. We didn't see who kicked it, so stay with us. Ball kicked in towards 50. Moncrief coming out to meet it. He's well met there by Fisher. Spills to ground. Hammond. The ruckman was first on it. Tries to go a sweeping handball towards goal. Gets fisted away, but Blaine Coates was first on it. Snap it, goal, kicks it. So Eliza answer back. They get there first in the first 4 minutes. And they draw first blood for the Redlegs, and it's Blaine Coates to do it.
Very impressive goal. I mean, a pretty fast scoring start, and that's what we were hoping for. I mean, these are two of the sides with the best forward lines in the competition, you know, with Moncrief, with Mount Eliza, Aaron Edwards up front for Pines. So we're hoping for a lot of goals today. We've just seen 2 in the first 2 or 3 minutes, so hopefully a good start.
Definitely, both very good forward lines, but Paddy Swain touched on, we did a little interview with him before the game, and he touched on Mount Eliza's ability to really lock down scores. So it's going to be a tough day for Pines forwards to kick a goal as the ball's brought back out of the middle out for Pines. Up towards half forward. First on it was Boyle. Tried to go through with it, couldn't. Gets wrapped up. Still in that congestion. Managed to get a fist out only as far as Blaine Coates, who gets jumped on by Jacobson. And that's where it'll stay. The umpire will throw the ball up at half forward for the Pythons. Yep, so he's a big ball winner for the Pythons. That's definitely well known. As the ball's gone out towards the boundary line, Booth. He's a beautiful user off half-back, he's Booth. Goes up towards Gormley on the wing. Just goes for a snap kick up towards the wing position now. Looks for Hammond, but Hendry's first to chop it off. Gives a handball back towards his brother, who's wrapped up. So out on the far wing position here at Alexandra Park. Scores read 1 straight 6 man. Eliza to Pines 1-1-7. We've played 5.5 thus far. Out on the wing position, Wilcox gets well solidly met and taken out of bounds for a throw-in. Right out on that true wing position here at Alexandra Park. Weather not playing too much of a factor, boys, is it really? Just that a slight breeze blowing across the ground, Brody?
No, I would have thought there's a very slight breeze, but anything to push it out to that far side wing, I wouldn't have thought it's going to be favouring either side in front of goal.
No, that's it. As Blaine Coates goes with a quick kick inboard, only as far as Ben Tomaso goes for a quick kick out. McGannon, he stood at half back, took a good mark. Poor kick though. Little grubber inside 50. Hendry just stood there all by himself. Short one finds Perry Lewis Smith at centre half back. He looks to move it on quickly. He's got Aaron Edwards, found himself all alone at half forward. He runs in back inboard, then runs out wide. He looks, he's got Bongetti on the move. Wasn't a great kick, so down in front of him. It's going to race out of bounds and out of play. So it looks like Kyle Doherty's going to have the job on Bongetti today. I reckon you might find Tennant will have the roll on Edwards. But Tennant on that occasion, happy to let Edwards push right up the ground. Doesn't feel that he's too much of a worry up there. You're going to watch him when he's down at full forward. That's when Edwards is a danger, isn't it? Gets that one-on-one. Jumps on bloke's head. So ball brought back into play. The umpire's picked a free kick. It's going to go to Scanlon. He said that Sam Gill was just holding on to Paul Scanlon there, so Scanlon's going to get the opportunity, about 15 out straight in front, to kick Pine second for the day. So Scanlon, who also is one of those big ball winners for the Pythons, has an opportunity to hit the scoreboard early. Normally a pretty good kick is Chewy Scanlon as they call him down at Pine. Sets a ball sail now, try to work it back. Did, kicks it. So Pines get their second. They'll go to 2-1-13. Plays Mount Eliza's 1 straight 6. We played 7 minutes in this opening term, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Hi, I'm Jack, and my dad is Pete from the Mornington and Rosebud Telstra stores. I just want to let you know, NBN is coming to the Mornington Peninsula, and all of our team are here to help.
Call us now on 1300 My Telstra. That's 1300 698 357.
So the ball cleared out by Pines there. Very loose. Just backed it towards the square. Smart tap on from Bongetti. Edwards goes off the ground. It's going to go out of bounds and out of play. So Pines just getting really on top of those centre clearance battles, aren't they, at the moment, Broads?
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed you pointed it out earlier is how they were pushing Aaron Edwards up the ground, and that's just such a key thing to do. We know when he's on fire in front of goal, he can pretty much simply go berserk. He's kicked massive bags before, so if they can keep pushing him up the ground towards the centre half forward line, I think that'll go really well for Mount Eliza.
Bongetti had the square, and what it does then is, I mean, you tend to find that Mount Eliza will look to double team Edwards when they can. So what that does is it pushes that extra, opponent up the ground and means they're going to have a one-on-one in the square with Bongetti. So I think they'd much rather that, Pines, no doubt. So goes with the short one, finds Landry. Landry taken as a fence for the Red League, goes with the short one, finds now. So the great kick fell short of him. Perry Lewis Smith was quickly on him. Somehow managed to get the handball away, didn't they? It was only as far as Boswell. Tried to bustle his way through, a couple couldn't. Didn't have Price at the umpire, so we'll throw the ball up at centre half forward for the Pythons. Probably could have been a big there, Julie King, before he tried to take him on.
Yeah, each their own luck.
With a big tap out, goes only as far as Potts, just kicks it off the ground. Don't know where he's going that one.
Early ball winners lock. Lockie Marshall's got 3 and Paul Scanlon 2 for Mornington Peninsula Brewery.
Thank you very much, joining the sponsors we've got here is Hammond decisively. Marshall was first on, put one in the back, up by 7 play on. Players jump on the footy. Will stay on the right position.
Just about as blatant a free kick as you can get, I would have thought.
I would have thought so. He's right in the perfect position. So actually, never seen this sometimes.
Very good.
So Scanlon down, trying to bust his way through. Couldn't. Small was first to get that one. Now umpire's picked a free kick. It's going to go to Gill. Said he got one around the chops. So Gill looks out to the far side of ground. He's got a one-on-one. It's Wilcox and Coates. Coates just taps it in front of him, but Jacobson for Pines there comes in to assist. Coates did well, just somehow got a fist in there, tapped it to his own advantage. Goes with a short one. He's got Gormley in front of Hendry, finds him. So Gormley takes a mark about 45 out from goal. Doesn't think he's got the distance, so he's looking for an option. He's going to go to the top of the square. He goes now to Witt. He's flying in from the back as well as Freeman. They both fly. Big fist from behind. Falls to ground. Who's at it? It's John. He just snaps it out for a clearing kick. They appeal for deliberate, but the umpire's not going to go for it. So it'll be a boundary throw in. About 20 out from Pines' goal. Mount Eliza's goal, in fact.
Just about be the second time they've had it there in the first 10 minutes, I reckon. It's barely been over on that side.
Yeah, Pines have been dominating, haven't they? As Hammond, he wins a tap out down to himself. Handball, finds Coates, gives it to Witt, who then goes for one for Landry. He's going to do the buttering up because Landry couldn't take it. Goes for a left snap. Wasn't great. Will go out of bounds and out on the full. So it'll be Pines to bring the ball back in through Potts. Beautiful user of the footy, isn't he, Luke Potts? He's a brilliant player to have back. Obviously went overseas for a month and they missed him dearly. I mean, funnily enough, they hit form as he left, but he's a
no correlation, you wouldn't have thought.
Oh, no, not with him. It's just added to that form side, no doubt. As he goes in short, finds his teammate in Scanlon, who's got it at half back. He's just going to go up towards a wing position. Hendry v Gormley. Hammond flies from the side, doesn't have any impact on the contest. Spills out the back. Nels first on it. Tackled by Parker as he kicked it. Is it going to stay in? It is. Jimmy Freeman will fly. Good fist from behind Ben Thomas. Happy to see the ball out of bounds and out of play.
Big game down at Rye today, lock in Div 2 between Kringle and Langwarrin. We've got some early scores there. Langwarrin 2 straight 12 to Kringle yet to score for X-Golf.
Thank you very much, Geordie King. Live scores around the grounds brought to you by X-Golf Mornington. Brilliant sponsors. Just got on board a couple of weeks ago, X-Golf. Wouldn't mind going down for a hit, actually. As Bongetti goes with a short one up towards Edwards, finds him. That's the link up that they want to see, Pines, as he goes in with a short one. Jacobson was on the move, gets well fisted by Small. Gill, he was at the fall of ball. Handball to Harper Leonard, tries to get away, did. Goes with a kick up towards Hammond on the wing. He flies from behind in front of Boswell. Boswell get the fist in, feels the ground. Hammond, he goes through with it. Only as far as Potso. Gives a handball to Scanlon. Looks up, he's got Edwards on the move. As a good kick, good stop there by Booth. He gets a fist in, spills to ground. Ludwig, right foot snap, goal! So Pines kicked the third of the day. They got a 3-1-19. Plays Mount Eliza's one straight. We've played 12 and a half minutes in this opening term, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Visit X-Golf Indoor Golf Simulator Centres now and enjoy a golfing, hospitality and entertainment experience like no other. X-Golf is ideal for work events, birthday parties, corporate functions and Bucks nights. For more information, go to xgolf.com.au. X-Golf, think beyond the green. A station sponsor.
Players jump on it. So the umpire's found a free kick here.
Silly by Boswell. He just threw a fist too high and you can't be doing that.
Yep, so we've had a Sam Gill. I missed that one, but Rhodes all over it. Boswell with the brain fade. He's going to sit it to Freeman. One-on-one with Thomas. Gets fisted away by Thomas. Tried to come through there. Was Hammond. Couldn't. Spills to ground. Hendry. That's Bo Hendry. He's first on it. Goes with a little snap around the corner. Finds Boyle. So good vision there by Hendry. Boyle takes a mark towards half-back. He looks up. He's got Marshall short. So Marshall just with another possession. I reckon that's about 9 thus far.
Make that 8 look.
We've had 25 minutes played on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. Marshall looks up towards a wing position. He's going to set it high. Then Bobgetti fly against Tennant. Good fist from behind there by Tennant, who's at the fall of the ball. Gill. He comes out to meet it with Jacobson, and Jacobson just nudges him out of bounds and out of play. That's what he's best for. Superb pace.
Got some great speed, doesn't he?
He does. Supplies a lot of forward pressure, which is what you need when you got players like Bobgetti and Edwards, prolifically known for their speed. They need that extra forward pressure. Scanlon goes one up towards Hendry, gets it back to Scanlon now, gets his kick smothered by 2. Should have given a sweeping handball out to Potts by himself. Didn't see him though as Hendry jumps on the footy. Players jump on him. Scanlon now comes in to assist. Couldn't get the ball out, so the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. About 70 out from Pines' goal. Just inside the centre square. It'll be Hendry and Hammond to do the ruck work. Hendry again decisively. Only as far as Tom Small though. He's got the Wick coming off half back. Goes in now. He's only got a good left peg to Wick. Goes up towards Capkin on a big lead with Johns. The ball's going to beat him out of bounds and out of play.
Yeah, DeWitt's had 6 so far. Lucky for Mornington eventually. He's playing well on the wing there.
Yes, he flies under the radar. Looks like Wilcox is running closely with him today though. Paddy Swain obviously notified that he is a major ball winner and normally a beautiful user with that left peg as well. Keep an eye on that one as the ball's brought back into play. It was Hammond straight down to Mornay, but he was well worn there by Jacob Boyle.
I think we analyse it. We're happy to go on to quarter time, only 7 points behind.
Well, considering the dominance of play Pines have had through the middle of the ground, I have no doubt that Troy Shannon will be addressing those centre clearances because they're all over it at the moment, Pines. So considering, I think they'd be pretty happy with it. There is definitely a lot of stop-start footy. Just it's what you get with these small grounds too, though. There's obviously a lot more contested footy on the smaller grounds. It's a lot more one-on-one stuff. The ball's brought back in now. Scanlon gets well wrapped up. Somehow got a handball away, goes towards Marshall, but it's going to go out of bounds and out of play. The umpire's picked a free kick. Not too sure why. He said he threw it. So Scanlon, who got the handball, as we saw, umpire must have been a bit blindsided. Said he threw it. So the free kick will go to Aaron Jackson for the Redlegs. So he's too far out to score. He's just going to sit at the top of the square. A lead comes from Moncrief. 2 will fly. Good fish from behind by Hendry. At the fall, the ball was Boswell too. Handball to Potts running off half back. Looks up. He's got Edwards on the move. Nelm's on him. He's hot on his hammer. Edwards picks it up now. Doesn't have many forward of him, so he has to go backwards. Finds Potts, who just runs through traffic. Right foot snap. Didn't look though because Tennant, in fact, Doherty was standing there all by himself and said thank you very much for that, Potsy. So Doherty, oh no, that was a bad kick. He went to go across the face of goal, but absolutely shanked it. Harley Parker just right place, right time, Broads.
You can't be kicking across the face of goal if you're not confident. That's something that you learn in Auskick.
It's a very accurate call because he's golfed it up, and Harley Parker, who's normally a pretty good kick in that footy with that left hoof of his, has the opportunity to keep Pines' fourth and extend that lead right on the quarter-time siren as well. He sets the ball sail, looked poor off the boot. It doesn't even register a score, so it'll go out of bounds and out on the full.
Out of jail there.
Siren almost come at a wrong time then, didn't it? It probably put him off more than anything. So boys, the score going into quarter time will be Manaliza 2-1-13, plays Pines 3-2-20. We'll go to a short break, come back to you with the quarter time run. You're listening to RWPFM, The Voice.
Things back to the basics, just play smart footy, hit your short targets, and as Troy Shannon said, don't be too cute with it because they're losing possession far too often.
Yep, that they are, Broads. You're not wrong. We'll come back to what Paddy Swain had to say as the ball's back in the middle of the ground. Hendry wins a tap out. Rhodes it himself goes with a quick kick up towards half forward. Chopped off there by Nelms. He finds Freeman up towards half forward. Probably too far out to score. He's got Capkin on the move. So does Moncrief. He goes in Moncrief direction, and Moncrief just broke away from Fisher there. Takes a nice strong mark out in front. Takes it about 40 out from goal on a slight angle, and an opportunity to get first blood in his second term. It'll be much needed for the Redlegs.
Didn't really get his hands on the footy much in the first term, Moncrief, and we know how dangerous he is and how capable a forward he can be. So if he kicks this goal and gets some confidence, that could be danger for Pines.
You aren't wrong there, Broads. Big bit of confidence into your key forwards is what you need early, and no doubt if he goes back and kicks this, he'll get it because there was a strong mark to go with it. Notably, he had about 10 metres on his opponent there, so must have done a bit of work early to get that break. He'll set the ball sail now. Normally a good kick of the footy. He's trying to work it back with the body. Couldn't. Started at left, and that wind's going to help it stay left. Goes through for a minor score. So the Redlegs will go to 2-2-14. Plays the Pythons 3-2-20. Quickly brought back in there by Boswell. Goes to Marshall, then goes one with further up towards Parker at half back. Coach stands the mark. Not a lot moving for him up around the wing position, so he's just going to have to blaze away and go up towards Bongetti, who will fly from the back. Gets fisted away there by Doherty. At the fall, the ball was Bongetti, though. Did well. Tried to get a handball away, couldn't. First in to chop it off there was Goonan. He gets tackled as he went to handball it, so players jump on the footy. And the umpire will come across the ground and throw the ball up.
Notice Bonghetti spending a lot of time out near the wing in this game so far, maybe just trying to isolate Aaron Edwards inside that forward 50 Pines.
Yeah, they've noticed, I reckon, that Doherty under a bit of pressure panics a little bit, so let's have him one-on-one with Edwards and let Edwards fight the footy. So keep an eye on that battle. It's going to be a rip snorter all day, there's no doubt about that. Ball out the far side of the wing, Hendry and Hammond. This has been a great battle so far today, boys. Pretty even in tap-outs, I reckon. And so far around the ground as well, as they both win that tap out down towards Barfoot. Gets wrapped up as he took possession of the footy though. So the ball out on the far side of the oval here. Again, it'll be Hendry and it'll be Hammond to do the ruck work. It's a brilliant battle, both premier ruckman of the competition. It was Hendry decisively down towards Potts. He's got Edwards on the move, goes there, and Edwards just too strong for Doherty. Just bodied him out, took a chest mark, about 30 out straight in front.
2-on-1, he was being manned up by two people and he took a chest mark.
Yeah, he's just so strong through the core as Edwards doesn't go to ground, and then that upper body just to shove Doherty, who's certainly not a small man, off the footy and take an easy mark. And has the opportunity to go back and kick a sausage early. It'll be big for him. It'll be big for his side. Straight through the middle, never a doubt. So Edwards gets first blood in this quarter for the Pythons. They'll go to 4-2-26, plays Man Eliza 2-2-14. 3 minutes played in his second term of footy. You're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Empire Fitness is a new world-class facility located in Rosebud, providing state-of-the-art bodybuilding and fitness training with no joining fees and heavy discounts for the first 200 new members. Discover more at empirefitness247.com.au, a station sponsor.
And welcome back to Alexandra Park, where the Pythons have kicked another. They'll go 2 goals in front now as the ball's back in the middle of the ground. Potts wins the clearance, goes up just up towards 50. Flying from the back was Tennant, big fist. Who's at the floor of the ball? It was White. Sells some candy, goes to Lewis Smith now. Snap at goal. Does it have the distance? No. But Bonghetti pulls in the one juker. Bonghetti just with some pure strength to hold out Booth, stick out the left mitt, pulls it in. About 5 metres out straight in front.
You've got to be physical against these Pines forwards. You know, they're such big units. You can't let them just push you around. Mount Eliza really need to start flexing their muscle.
And Bonghetti goes back easily from 5 metres out, kicks a goal. It was just unlucky there for Booth. It was a mismatch. Tennant obviously flew from behind to get that big fist on the contest and just lost touch of Bonghetti. And Bonghetti comfortably just floated back to the goal square jaws and kicked one.
Yeah, I feel that Pines' big forwards are starting to get on top here, which is not very promising for Mount Eliza. They want to win this game of footy, I would have thought.
No, they're renowned for locking down their forwards and really limiting their opponents to scores, and obviously Pines have already kicked 5 goals, and that's what Pines are known for. They're known for hitting that scoreboard, so it was always going to be the battle of who could stop kicking goals or who could get the onslaught of goals. At the moment, Pines is winning that battle as Potts goes for a clearing kick out of the centre of the ground, goes out towards half forward, race out of bounds and out of play.
You pointed out in the first quarter that clearances was something that Mount Eliza were clearly down on, and they haven't seemed to do much to kind of rectify that problem. Pines have won 2 or 3 clearances already in the first 5 minutes out of the centre.
Yeah, they're absolutely all over it at the moment. The Pythons, as the umpire's picked a free kick, it's going to go to Mount Eliza, and it'll go to Landry. Hendry just jumped in his back, so the umpire's just trying to sort it out as they both tripped over each other there. So finds Landry now, looks to move it on quickly, goes up towards Goonan on the lead on the wing, flies at the footy. That was a good fly for their little fella. Goonan takes a strong mark in front of his opponent in Hughes. Looks up, there's not a lot of movement going for him, so he's just going to sit it up in front of Capkin and hope for a fly. Good fish from behind comes from Johns, who's at the fall of the ball. Ludwig was first on it. The boundary line was first on it as well. Happy to see it out of bounds and out of play. Right out in front of that Rye Hotel scoreboard that reigns Mount Eliza 2-2-14, plays Pines 5-2-32. We played 6 minutes in this second term. Pines, they're winning those midfield battles, which is what's been vital at the moment, as you heard Geordie King say. Pines' big forwards are just getting on top as well. The free kicks being found. It's going to go to the ruckman of Mount Eliza in Hammond. He's got Freeman on the move. He sits it over his head, and Hendry, who's just been filling that hole all day, takes an easy mark. Goes quickly across the face of ground, finds Scanlon, goes in with a short one, finds Lewis Smith. So Hammond there, just blazed away. He had Moncrief sitting at centre half forward by himself, didn't see him. It was a poor kick into Freeman. As Boyle goes up towards half forward now, Bonghetti over his head. First on it was Tennant. Gets a handball out to Booth, and then goes back to Coates, who's just going to blaze away with the left foot. There's a poor kick, under a lot of perceived pressure there, and goes out of bounds and out of the full.
Almost hit the only car here in the bench block.
Would have been an impressive task. Pretty stiff too if it had hit the car. He could have been pretty sour.
That's what they deserve. They snuck in. They paid the price.
Yeah, that's true, Broads. I like that. So it'll be Boyle to bring the ball back in. Goes with a short one, finds Hendry. Hendry then goes up to a leading Edwards, but Booth just stood in that hole nicely. Probably the wrong spot, I reckon, for Edwards to lead. Just lead it into the boundary instead, but it was a poor kick coming from Tennant there. Goes in towards the centre of the ground, chopped off by White. He goes with a handball back towards Potts. He gets it stripped off him by DeWitt. Gives a handball up towards Goonan now. Further one on to Coates, who gets wrapped up quickly by Potts. Good by him. Landry comes in to support. And it's come off the knee of Landry, goes out of bounds and out of play. So just high enough not to go out on the full. I believe it's the rules ankle up to knee, George, is it?
Up to the knee, yep, that's right, Lock.
Obviously the boundary umpire Jordan King, he's all over it. Knows what the source is. How funny he knows what the source is, considering he's got red hair. So ball brought back into play now. DeWitt tries to bustle his way through. Couldn't. Spills to ground. Perry Lewis-Smith goes with a quick one up towards half forward. Kicked off the ground by White. Foot race between White and Coates. And Booth. Booth gets pushed off the footy by Edwards. Umpire sent play on. Races out of bounds and out of play. So the boundary umpire with a posse.
You get lots of those as a boundary umpire.
Didn't yesterday, actually. It was a pretty quiet day for the boundary umpires yesterday. Not a lot of out of bounds. It was played a lot through the centre of the ground yesterday, but obviously a smaller ground here. There will be lots. George, you're not wrong. As the ball's brought back into play, Sean White dives on the footy. Players dive on him. So about 20 out from Pines' goal. So Hendry just standing in that hole. If a quick kick comes out from Eliza, he's there. That's what he's best at. Has tried to bustle his way through. There was Jacobson, sent a flying snapper goal, goes through for a minor score. So Pines will go to 5-3-33, plays Manaliza's 2-2-14. Played 8.5 minutes in this second term. It'll be Doherty, who's been pretty average by foot coming out of the 50 thus far. He was told by his coach at quarter time not to be cute, so he blazes up towards half back. Hendry with a big double fist and just goes to pump it back in towards the forward line. Ludwig then goes with a further one off the ground. McDermott, he tries to swamp on it. Last time we called Pines, he kicked 5. He gets it off the ground towards Jacobson. Perry Lewis-Smith tries to come through, couldn't. Hammond, he tries to come through. Potts does as well. Gives a handball back towards Hendry. Too hot for him. Coates dives on him. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Impressive the way they've been able to lock the ball inside their forward 50. I mean, as you were saying earlier, Bongetti and Edwards aren't exactly known for their tackling pressure. They've got plenty of goal kickers, but not always a lot of people there to apply that pressure. So they've done pretty well here, Pines, to
they
keep it
have.
locked
The
in.
likes of McDermott, Jacobson have been massive for those big players in locking that footy in. As the kick goes up towards a goal square for Pines, big fist comes from Tennant, spills to the fall of the ground, players jump on the footy. And that's where it'll stay. So the umpire will come in and throw the ball up about 25 out from the Pythons' goal.
Quick X-golf around the grounds, live scores, Lock. Langwarrin leading Kringle by 9 points.
Thank you very much, George. That's thanks to X-Golf, as you said. Great sponsors of PFM. As Gill goes for a clear and kick up towards DeWitt at half back. He gets well wrapped up by Wilcox. Managed to get a handball away towards Moncrief. He gives one to Landry, but he's bumped out of bounds and out of play. The ball goes with him. So about 60 out from the Pythons' goal. They're really getting on top of these midfield battles. Potts, Marshall, Scanlon. Marshall's been a bit quiet this quarter, but Potts is starting to get his hands on the footy as lot. As Scanlon tries to come through with it, gives it out towards Boyle, who gets quickly wrapped up there. In fact, that's not Boyle. It's Brandon Lewis. So ball brought back up. Hendry decisively down towards Barfoot. Tries to give a cute little handball. The umpire said it was a throw. It was that cute. It looked like a throw. He was unlucky there, Barfoot. He's arguing with the umpire, but the umpire saw what he saw, and the free kick's going to go to Jackson. So Jackson goes back across the face of goal, finds Tennant. Doherty, in fact, the two ball defenders, they get me every time I commentate them. They look dead exactly the same. Goes out towards Capkin, finds him now, so Capkin asking for players to come up towards him. Freeman moves now with Moncrief. He goes in the Moncrief direction. Mismatch. It was Jacobson on Moncrief. Don't know how that's happened because Moncrief, one of the tallest players in the field. Jacobson arguably the smallest. Somehow he got the smother on it there, Jacobson. Don't know how you kick it into him. Potts swoops on it. Goes up towards half forward. White. It goes over his head. Edwards leads the race against Leonard. He can have a snipe at goal. Kicks it. Pines kick their 6, they go to 6-3-39, and Eliza's 2-2-14, 11.5 played in this second term of footy, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Did you know that the Bendigo Community Bank branches support our local sporting clubs? Our sponsor, the Bendigo Community Bank branches in Rye, Dramana and now in Rosebud, are supporting the local community and putting the people back into banking.
So the replay coming on, the Bendigo Bank replay just on the screen here at RPPFM. Quick kick come there from Potts and it just raced over the top of White's head. And Edwards led the race back to it. So the ball in the middle of the ground now. McGannon tries to come through. He couldn't. Goes out towards Perry Lewis-Smith, who just whacks it out in front of Marshall. Foot race between Marshall and Leonard. Marshall wins it. We know he's quick. Goes with a left foot snap up towards half forward. Looks like Moncrief's going to go as a loose back now just to stop the on-run of Pines. Finds Small's hands now. Goes over the top towards Moncrief. He's under some pressure. Tackled as he kicked it. Goes up towards Gormley on the wing position. He needs to start getting his hands on the footy. Sean White tries to take on Mornay. Does. Gets a handball back to Hughes now. Goes to Hendry, who's just going to go with a short check side. Finds Marshall. That was good vision there by Hendry. Pulled the kick well. So Marshall just on wing position here. He's going to sit it long and go towards Edwards in a 1-on-2. He'll fly from behind, but good work there by Tennant just to chip in and give a hand. Takes a strong mark, but the umpire said that Doherty shepherded Aaron Edwards off the footy there, so Tennant could come in and throw the ball up, but I disagree with that one. Edwards trying to fly over the top.
Yeah, I wonder if we can have a look at that on the Bendigo Bank replay screen and see what happened there.
He's gone for the specky, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what I would have thought, but I reckon that probably helped him in his cause, made it look like Doherty really did shepherd him away from the footy, so he had no choice but to try and go for a specky. So the replay up on screen. Geordie King, you'll watch that one for us. So the kick comes from Edwards now. Starts it left, brings it back right, puts it straight through the hay. Diddle diddle. Pines get there 7th. They'll go to 7-3-45. The Manalisers 2-2-14. That's on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. And you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Mornington Peninsula Brewery love football as much as they love making world-class beer. That's why they're the sponsors of local footy. This season, treat yourself to a round of beer and a pizza at the Brewery Bar. Mornington Peninsula Brewery, 72 Watt Road, Mornington.
So we've got the Bendigo Bank replay up here. Oh, he just threw an elbow out. It was a bit of 50-50 one, I reckon. It would have been play, could have been play on. It could have been a free kick. At the end of the day, it was a free kick and Edwards kicks it. Hendry straight down towards Potts. Tried to give a handball to Boyle running off half-back. Was too hot for him, so Goonan comes out to meet it. He gets his handball chopped off by Perry Lewis-Smith, who goes up towards half-forward now. Fist from behind by Gill. Takes possession of it now. Goes to McGannon, who then gets tackled as he handballed it, so spills towards Hendry. He went without it, though. Gormley comes in, tries to take on Hendry. Cops one high around the chops.
I thought he might have ducked there, Gormley. He's very lucky there.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting the replay of that one. So Gormley copped one around the chops. He'll get the free kick for it. Yeah, so he did duck his head. That was high. Hendry just copped him one around the chops on the Bendigo Bank replay. So he's asking players to move out wide. He just goes in with a short one. Finds Capkin at half-back. So Capkin now at half-back. Goes back inboard to Moncrief. So they're two key forwards. Kicking it to each other at half-back. He goes with a wide one up towards Goonan. He did some nice body work against Boyle there. Takes possession of the footy. Goes to Doherty, who tries to shrug off Marshall. Does just. Goes back to Goonan. Looks up towards an half forward. That was a pressured kick. Did not look.
Hendry in the hole again.
Yep, I reckon he's probably taken about 15 intercept marks already, Rhodes. He's just absolutely lapping it up the moment. But that was a poor kick. Yep, you heard there from Geordie King. Poor kick across the face of goal going towards Potts. Goes out of bounds and out of play.
You remember last time we saw Pines playing Sereno down over there at David McFarlane Reserve, and Hendry was man of the match on Lee Paholke that day, had a blinder, and he's having another good game again today.
Yes, that was the day I completely disagreed with a lot of yous. Don't know how he got best on ground considering Paholke kicked 4. Makes no sense if you're a defender playing on a forward and they kick 4. Doesn't matter what you do well. If you let your opponent kick 4 goals, that's not good enough if you ask me, but somehow the people next to me thought he was best on.
It's about the context of the goals, Locke.
He kicked 4 goals no matter what, mate. 24 points is 24 points, and it kept Sereno only 2 goals. Pretty close to it. If you ask me, Geordie King, I don't reckon he gets best on. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you, Locke.
As Marshall just bursts his way out through the pocket. Coach, can't do that. Marshall got the free kick, but the umpire calls advantage play on. So Perry Lewis-Smith goes up towards half forward. Good work there by Moncrief. Just drifted back into that hole, took a strong mark. So Moncrief's going to try play the Hendry role. Goes back towards Doherty, goes with a sweeping handball to Moncrief. Parker hot on his hammer, so gets it away to DeWitt now. He's got some time, goes up towards Capkin at half back, finds him. He's got a runner into Witt again, decides not to go to him, so walk back on the mark. This is where they're falling apart because they've got Capkin and Moncrief playing across half-back. They don't have those tall timber to come up and meet at the half-forward. Goes up towards a wing position now. McGannon gets it spoiled away from him, but he was the first to rove it. Goes backwards, finds Tennant. Then goes backwards to Capkin, looks inboard. He's got Booth on the move, coming through the middle of the ground. Goes there, was a good kick. Takes a strong mark, goes across the face of goal. Was a poor handball, puts his teammate under some pressure. He then goes across the face of goal out towards Moncrief. He's got some time trying to sell some candy. Well done, Barfoot. Just went the footy. Spills to ground now. Spill to Parker, gets his kick. Smother will go out of bounds into the play.
This shouldn't be a throw-in. Mount Eliza should have this ball inside their forward 50 at the moment. Moncrief didn't need to sell the candy. He had numbers out over the top. It's basic skills that they're getting wrong at the moment, Mount Eliza.
Yeah, that's true. So Moncrief, he's just drifted back into the forward line, unpicked up, but it's won there by John, straight down towards Scanlon. He looks up, goes for a short one, was too cute. Goonan chopped it off. He looks up towards half forward. He's got Hammond on the move, but it was a poor kick and it's well chopped off there by Ben Thomas. So Ben Thomas at half back chips in and takes the mark for the Redlegs. Goes with a short one back towards Potts, who looks up. He's got McDermott at half back, goes there now. It was a good kick. McDermott, who's been quiet. As I said last time we called Pines, he kicked 6. Goes up towards the wing position, spoiled away from Bongetti, but Parker was at the fall of the ball, one-on-one. Just sat it to Aaron Edwards. Advantage, who plays on quickly, runs into open goal, kicks it. Pines kick their 8, they go to 8-3-51 to Mount Eliza's 2-2-14, who played 18 minutes in this second term of football. They're running an absolute rampant at the moment, Pines.
4 goals to Aaron Edwards for the quarter, I believe, and if they're not careful, he'll kick a lot more. You need to do more to put a stop to him.
That they do. He's just wearing Doherty like an absolute glove at the moment. And he's absolutely all over it, there's no doubt about that. Geordie King, some major ball winners so far this quarter, mate.
Yeah, Luke Potts has been real good luck. He's had 8 this quarter.
Love your work, Geordie King. Luke Potts, he's definitely stepped it up a notch, there's no doubt about that. So ball back in the middle of the ground now. Parker, who sent that beautiful kick up towards Edwards, gets possession of the footy. Gets stripped of it though by Coates. So Coates goes up towards forward. Just went for a quick one. Moncrief flies against Fisher. Beautiful mark. Very strong hands. Takes it about 25 out from goal. Deep in that far pocket down at the Simon Goosey scoreboard end of the ground.
That little excursion down to fullback didn't last very long, did it?
No. I reckon they realised that he might have been doing well across half-back, but it doesn't matter when you get possession of the footy, that if you can't kick it to anyone up towards the wing position or half forward, you know you just get possession of it at half-back. So Moncrief has the opportunity to get one against the play here for Mount Eliza. They certainly need it, to say the least. This can get them within 5 goals. At the moment, they're 6 goals down. He sets the ball sail. Looks pretty good off the boot. And he's happy with it, kicks it. So Mount Eliza get their third. They'll go to 3-2, 20 plays Pines, 8-3-51. 5 goals of difference. We played 19 minutes in this second term of football, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
More and more people with a taste for quality are shopping at Eliza Meats. Phone 9787-4473 for a mouth-watering meal fit for a king. See our sponsor Kevin at Eliza Meats, 112B Mount Eliza Way, a station sponsor.
And welcome back to Alexandra Park, where we just watch a replay of that strong mark from Moncrief Fisher. There's not much more he could have done in there. Very strong grab by Moncrief. Kicked a much-needed goal for the Redlegs. The ball back in the middle of the ground. Johns, he's been injected into the ruck just to give Hendry a well-earned break, no doubt. He ran out that first and half quarter well as McGannon tries to come through, does. Handball to Gormley, founds it back towards McGannon now. Sweeping handball to Ryan over the top, goes backwards to DeWitt on the wrong side for a left footer, so he looks inboard. Well sprawled to Boswell, don't argues Gill. He can run towards half forward. He's got Edwards on the move, he goes to Parker instead. It was a beautiful kick. Beautiful vision and beautiful check kick there from Boswell. He could have blazed away and gone long towards Bongetti or Edwards. Instead, lowered his eyes, saw Parker well and truly out in front of his opponent, and takes an easy one.
It's good discipline when you get on that break and you're running towards an open goal. It can be pretty easy to just try and go for the spectacular, but very clever to just go with the short pass there.
So Parker now with the opportunity to kick one from 50 for Pines. Answer straight back. It looks good off the boot. It is. He kicks it. They go to 9:3:57. Mount Eliza's 3:2:20. 21 minutes played in this second term. You're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Visit X-Golf Indoor Golf Simulator Centres now and enjoy a golfing hospitality and entertainment experience like no other. X-Golf is ideal for work events, birthday parties, corporate functions and bucks nights. For more information, go to xgolf.com.au. X-Golf, think beyond the green. A station sponsor.
So Pines answer back very quickly. Puts a knife straight into the back of Mount Eliza, who just started to get some hope. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Gormley comes through with it, runs towards half forward. Quick kick, Hendry. Standing there again, just takes another intercept mark. Chopping, he really needs to tighten up on Hendry and make more of an impact, because he's letting Hendry just drift back and do whatever he pleases. Goes up towards half back, finds Hughes, who drops an easy chest mark. Just dives back in, fists it out towards the boundary line. McDermott in a foot race against Chopping. Happy to go out of bounds and out of play.
Not happy about it, John O'Hughes.
No, that was a simple chest mark. I wouldn't be too happy about that one either.
The expletive he shouted was just about loud enough for our mics to pick it up.
Probably deserved that expletive, I would have thought. It was pretty disappointing from him. Ball back into play. Hendry decisively down towards Potts. Goes up towards half forward. Bonketti again with one juke. Just takes possession of the footy. Goes towards Barfoot now. Tries to punt it off the ground. Couldn't. Players jump on him. So I can't quite pick up who that number 25 is out there. It says that it should be Mitch McCarthy. It's definitely not Mitch McCarthy, because that number 25 is 200 centimetres tall. Hendry wins that one decisively down towards Perry Lewis-Smith. Comes down through now. DeWitt goes without it. The umpire's picked a free kick, said that DeWitt was taken off the footy without it, so he'll get the free kick for holding the man. Looks up towards half forward, goes up towards Mornay, goes over his head. First in line was Chopping, takes possession of the footy, short handball to Ryan, goes up towards the leading Moncrief, but the kick wasn't great, will go out of bounds and out of play.
A couple of player stats like Luke Potts is up to 13 touches, along with Paul Scanlon, who's had 9, and Lockie Marshall with 12.
So Potts with the 9 touches thus far in his second term. We played 23.5 minutes. They lead by 37 as Potts gets his 14 for the game. Goes up towards a wing position. White gets it spoiled away from him. Spills down towards DeWitt. Goes up towards Chopping and half forward. Taken away there by Gormley. Handball into Mornay. Gets his head ripped off. Umpire set play on. He's taken on a couple. Parker comes in. Good tackle there by Parker. Spills down towards. Goes across towards Wilcox at the other side of the ground. Good fist comes from Coates, but it's going to go out of bounds and out of play. No, stays in just. Freeman gets his kick smothered nicely there by Johns, but Mount Eliza's got the numbers. Nelm's one of them. Goes in towards DeWitt. It's an half back. Was too hot for him over his head. White was first on it. They're running back into play now. He's got Edwards 1-on-1 deep. He goes there now. Edwards does the body work, but gives Captain one around the chops. So just fell as he was going to get the hip and shoulder there. Captain unfortunately did, because Edwards just gave him one in the head. I wouldn't mind seeing the replay of that one. Geordie King. The replay will come up in a minute. Watch that one for us as Capkin now goes up towards the wing position. He's got Gill in a one-on-one with Barfoot. Good fist comes from Barfoot. There goes out of bounds and out of play. So it looks like Capkin now has been moved to full back. Capkin will have the role on Aaron Edwards. So Doherty, be interesting to see if he goes forward, or we'll just try and play that loose roll. He's off the ground at the moment, Doherty. So keep an eye on that one. Ball out on the wing position. The umpire's going to take possession of footy as we'll try and watch the replay of that free kick against Edwards and Capkin. So White obviously coming off centre half back. Just sent it straight in, and Edwards
just pushed him off the footy there.
Pushed him off the footy, so it was a free kick definitely, as Scanlon now wins it out on the wing position. Just sends it up towards half forward. Edwards flies against two. Good fist come from Capkin, who's at the fall of the ball. Jacobson, handball back to Lewis. Handball back then to Scanlon. He's at 50. Runs inside one, goes, looks across the face of ground. Good vision. Beautiful vision there by Paul Scanlon. Lockie Marshall standing all by himself at half forward. Takes a mark about 45 out on basically straight in front roads.
Yeah, and that all started with Guy Hendry out of the ruck. He's been absolutely dominant this quarter, I feel. And not just in winning the bouts, but looks straight down the throat of his midfield.
He's been giving them first juice, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's, Pines are leading 4-1 in centre clearances, and even they'll be leading by much more with clearances around the ground, so absolutely agree.
So it looks like Marshall will run into about 50. That's where he'll kick from. He starts a ball left. It's working back right. Does it have the legs? It does easy. Goes through goalpost height. They kick their 10th They'll go to 10-3-63 and Analyzers 3-2-20. 24 minutes played in this second term of football. Starting to become a serious worry for Redlegs, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Hi, I'm Jack, and my dad is Pete from the Mornington and Rosebud Telstra stores. I just want to let you know NBN is coming to the Mornington Peninsula, and all of our team are here to help.
Call us now on 1300 My Telstra. That's 1300 698 357.
So Pines extend their lead. 43 points is the margin, 7 goals the difference. Eliza, they're only off their legs. They can't do a thing about it at the moment. They start to drive now off half-back. Small, he goes with a long one up towards Moncrief. Big fist comes from Fisher. Boswell first on it. Ryan wrapped him up. So umpire will come in and throw the ball up. About 40 out from Manaliza's goal, boys. Quick score brought to you by X-Golf around the ground. Langwarren, they're up by 22 points. 3-4-22, plays 6-8-44. So the Kangaroos are starting to run away with that one down in RJ Rowley Reserve. Back to this game, there's the half-time siren. So the Pines crowd, as you can hear, clapping. They're pretty happy with what just went on. They lead by 7 goals. Manaliza 3-2-20 plays Pines 10-3-63. We played 27 minutes in that second term of footy. Pines, they just can't stop the onslaught of those Pines. Continue on. It could be an absolute thumping if they can continue on. So ball back in the middle of the ground. It'll be Hammond and Hendry. Hendry decisively, just an easy palm straight down to Scanlon, who gets possession of the footy. Going to drive it in towards Bongetti, a forward who had the goal position. It took 10 seconds for the ball to be pumped straight down to full forward and for Bongetti to take a strong mark and have an opportunity to kick the first of the quarter, about 15 out on a slight angle.
That's the benefit of having the small ground. Scanlon's clearance straight out of the middle, even from behind the centre circle, and now they have a shot from 15 metres out directly in front. It's such an advantage for Pines, and they're just killing it at the moment. I think that's what hurts Manaliza the most, is the fact they don't play small grounds well. So Bongetti now, left footer, right side for him. He's not too sure about it. Went over the goal post. We'll have a replay of it. The goal umpire said all clear, 1 goal. We don't have a replay of it. Actually, we do. It's coming up now. Yes, Bendigo Bank. Yes, no, they're right. Good work there by the goal umpire to call that one. It was all clear, 1 goal. Thank you, Peter Sasevich, for the replays, mate. Obviously never been done here at RPPFM, the replays. We've got the TV screen here in the box. We're absolutely all over it. Got it all.
Pines, they draw first blood in this quarter. It only took 10 seconds for him to get it there, as it's brought straight back out by Scanlon. He's already had 2 early ones. Goes up towards Edwards. He gets it fisted away from him. McDermott tries to dive on the foot. He couldn't. Gets fisted away. Nelms now with a flying handball up towards Hammond. Finds it. Gives it off to Coates quick. Goes up towards a leading Moncrief. Gets it fisted away nicely by Fisher. Into support there is Hendry. Happy to see the ball out of bounds and out of play. Looks like McDermott's injured his right shoulder when he's tried to dive on the footy there. He was very, very ginger getting up, and he doesn't look to be in a whole lot of comfort right now. No, so he's running away, just can't move that arm as he runs either, can he? So keep an eye on that one. The ball brought back in now, just about 70 out from Analyzer goal. Kick off the ground, comes from Small. That was smart, finds Goonan, handball inside of McGannon. Opportunity to answer back, sets the ball sail, pushes it right. Goes through for a minor score. So Manaliza will go to 3-3-21, plays Pines 11-3-69. That's on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. Scores being brought to you in the ground today by X-Golf Mornington. Obviously, we've got the game on at Langwarren. We'll get a score from there soon. Probably still half-time there, in fact. So ball brought back in by Pines. Hendry takes a mark. Goes with a short one, finds White. He's then got another one short in Marshall. Through the middle of the ground now. He's got some runners out wide. One of them, Parker, goes there now. It's fisted away by McGannon. Nice. Umpire's picked a free kick. It's going to go to McGannon. So McGannon will get a free kick and half back for the Redlegs. Goes in short. Good kick, finds Gill. Gill wanting to move it on quickly. Goes to Landry. Did see Hendry, and Hendry cleans him up. And he should be pinged holding the ball. Wasn't.
No prior opportunity, Lock.
Yeah, but it's just in those one of those obvious ones, I reckon. Even if you don't have prior opportunity in those occasions, I reckon you should be pinged holding the ball. Anyway, the ball brought back up on the wing position. Hendry, instead of going the tap out, goes through with the footy, gets wrapped up. Umpire said, I'll take it back, thank you very much. So on true wing position here at Alexandra Park, members' side of the ground. Got a pretty big crowd here today, boys, don't we? There's a lot of numbers out on this side of the ground. Obviously, with no cars being allowed in, they're not all huddled up on the far side. They're all...
Another car entered the venue.
Oh, they have. Cheeky. I reckon they have cut a hole in that fence, Jorts.
That is very smart.
Maybe a ramp over the top.
Maybe. Keep an eye on it for us, Broads. Maybe he'll just be able to go and drive a vehicle over the top for us. As a handball goes towards Goonan, he runs towards 50, sets a ball sail. It was right. It's going to go to the top of the square. Moncrief flies, gets a fisted away from him, appealing for a free kick. Umpire not having any of it. Will go out of bounds and out of play. So that was a little bit better from Mount Eliza. Spit it out, Lockie. That was a little bit better from Mount Eliza, wasn't it? Just to link up the way they come out of that wing position there, Geordie King.
Absolutely. Never get a goal here.
They do. McGannon, he comes through with it, goes for a right foot snap at goal. Moncrief just fists it through for a minor score. Tried to take the mark, but dropped it through for a minor score. So Mount Eliza will now go to 3-4-22. Plays Pines 11-3-69. 4.5 played on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. It'll be Boswell to go long and strong up towards the wing position. Strong mark from Harper Leonard. Umpire said it was off hands. Play on. Spills down towards Blaine Coates, who gets quickly wrapped up. Blaine Coates has just thrown a stray foot by accident. Got Potts in the side of the head, so keep an eye on that one for us, Broads. Potts looks to be in a bit of pain. The umpire now throws the ball up. Hammond starting to get his hands on that footy in that rug contest. Only as far as Scanlon though. Handball to Boswell. Just puts the afterburners on. Sits it towards Edwards in a foot race with Capkin. He was in the right position there. Edwards just went too far over his head. So Capkin, he dives on it. Goes up towards the wing position. Coates against Scanlon. Good fist came from Scanlon. Spills to ground. Wilcox first on it. Runs around one. Handball to White. Tries to shrug off a tackle. Couldn't. And he's going to be taken to ground. And the umpire's going to ping him on the ball. I reckon he is. Just trying to take him on there.
There's a bad handball at the start there from the Pines player, I would have thought.
It was. So the free kick will go to Gill. Good strong tackle came from Sam Gill there, who's probably been their best defender thus far.
By process of elimination.
Yes, he has. Goes up towards half forward. Hendry just flew in uncontested. Handball running Boswell, who can run to 35. Poor kick, come off the side of the boot. Falls at the top of the square and Gill takes an easy mark uncontested. Looks to move it on quickly out towards the far side of the ground. Goes in short. Can't quite pick up that player out there. Finds him now. Just in front of that Rye Hotel scoreboard. He sees Goonan in the middle of the ground. He goes in now. It was a good kick. Plays the mark. So Goonan now in the centre of the ground. Got some runners outside. Goes there now. Finds Landry. So Landry takes the mark. He wants to turn and go quickly. So he looks up towards half forward. He's well corralled there by Boyle. So he's just going to have to sit it to the top of the square. Moncrief will fly. So will Coates. Good fist came from Hendry. Mornay at the forward ball. Left foot snap. Looks pretty good. Does it have the legs? It does. But the umpire's picked a free kick and it's going to go to Moncrief for holding the man. He said that Fisher just had too much of his jumper. Was at the top of the square. So Moncrief will have a shot about 5 out straight in front.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the replay.
Advantage. It's a goal.
So Sam Mornay's kick there went through for a goal, so they let that count. Wouldn't mind a replay of that free kick. Obviously, the advantage was played on, but so either way it would have been a goal. But interesting free kick there. I don't know whether it was there, to be honest with you. I think both players had a hold of each other. Replay coming through now. Yep, so both players just a hold of each other's jumpers.
Head.
Yeah, I would have said it was more Fisher's free kick than what it was Moncrief's, but anyway, it was a goal to Redlegs nonetheless. They go to 4-4-28 to Pines' 11-3-69. 7 minutes played on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. The Pines won the clearance, but it's going to be a free kick to Nelms, who goes in short, finds Landry. So Landry at half back, he's got Nelms running around for a handball, gets it now, goes in towards the centre of the ground, nice kick, finds Hammond. All of a sudden they got some runners off half back, Gormley one of them, goes out towards Freeman in a one-on-one, good strong mark, good fist though from Thomas. Spills to ground, Gill, handball to Coates, right foot snap, it's bending! Ben doesn't bend far enough, it's a post. So it goes through for another minor score, Mount Eliza 4-5, 29. Plays Pythons 11-3-69. 7.5 played on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. Boswell looks for a stack, kicks it to himself, goes up towards the wing position. Good fist comes there from Tennant as Thomas and Tennant collided. Handball out towards Gormley now, goes to the top of the square, but John smartly just drifted off his opponent, takes an uncontested mark. Looks out wide and he's got Perry Lewis Smith all by himself, so that's where he goes now. Perry Lewis Smith off with a running bounce up towards half back, goes up towards Ludwig, good body work from him. He's got Edwards in a one-on-one, he's out in the lead, puts it just out in front of him. Wasn't a great kick. The boundary line will beat him to it. Go out of bounds and out of play, so about 45 out from goal.
Been a better start to the half from Eliza, I think. They've still got obviously a lot of work to do, 40-point deficit, but they've been getting it up in the forward 50 a bit and been able to lock it in a bit better, had a few more shots, so a better start.
It is, as the kick comes from Pines to the top of the goal square. Fist comes from behind. First on to Bongetti. Left foot snap. Did he get it? No. Goes through for a minor score. So that would have brought the whole house down if Bongetti had gone back and kicked that one.
They liked the look of it.
They did, but I reckon it was right. And I reckon our Bendigo Bank replay that is being brought back up now will say that it was right, and it is right. So thank you, Peter Sasovic, for that replay. The ball brought back in by Nelms. It was absolute grubber. Finds Scanlon, who kicks from about 45, trying to work it back. Kicks it! So Edwards just runs straight up to Nelms, taps him on the arse and says, "That's your job, mate. Thank you very much." So they kick their 12th Pines. They'll go to 12-3. 75 plays Mount Eliza's 4-5-29. That's on the Rye Hotel scoreboard, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
The Rye Hotel's been around for 80 years and is renowned for their good old-fashioned service and hospitality. Phone 5985-2277 or visit the Rye Hotel at 2415 Point Nepean Road, Rye.
And welcome back to Alexandra Park. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Man Eliza, they try to drive forward through small. He gets a kick off the ground towards centre half forward, and Thomas comes out to meet it solidly. Cops one around the chops from Hammond. Wasn't happy about the decision. Told the umpire about it. The umpire said, "Mate, you can come with me because that's 50 metres. Come for a stroll, son."
That's the entirety of the ground over here.
Yeah, it is. He'll go from centre half back to centre half forward just about. I think it's only 45 metres between centre half forward and centre half back, and he had that about 10 metres inside the defensive 50, so he's about 70 out from goal. Goes up towards a leading Bongetti and Edwards, goes over the back of them both and will go out of bounds and out of play. So, as you heard Brode say, just completely changes anything in that game. Doesn't a 50-metre penalty. They go from centre half forward deep into defence now, the Redlegs. Now they've got to be careful because Pines are in some form, and this is where they're winning. Bongetti straight down to Marshall, tries to come through with it, couldn't. Gill chops him off, spills out towards Potts, tries to go through a couple, gives a handball back, wasn't great. Booth steals it, runs up towards half back, goes up towards Freeman, just bodied off there by Thomas, pushed him in the back. The umpire saw it, and it was a free kick, so it's going to go to Jimmy Freeman. So Freeman on the wing position, looks inboard. He's got Goonan, takes a strong mark on the wing. So Goonan, who's a Stingrays player, been in and out of this side all year, goes up towards Booth in a 2-on-1, does some good body work, but Boswell did well just to get the fist in. Spills to ground, Boswell takes possession of it. Booth gets possession of him, swings him to the ground. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Just in between wing and half forward for the Redlegs. You feel that they really need to hit a score on the board now if they're any chance. We've played 11.5 minutes, and it's 29 plays 76. Free kick for holding the ball there. Going to go to Jackson against Boswell. Boswell obviously just trying to do too much. Good tackle there by Aaron Jackson. So Jackson too far out to score. Just going to sit it to the top of the goal square. Sit it to the hot spot. Moncrief will have to fly from behind. Big fist came from Hendry, who's at the fall of the ball. Parker went for the kick off the ground instead of picking it up. That was a bit soft. Gets it up towards Mornay, who steals the footy now. Right foot snapper goal, needs to go in. Doesn't, pushes it across the face. Probably a good result. Will go out of bounds and out of play.
Couple of players start slock for the Pines this quarter. Paul Scanlon's had 5 this quarter for 16 for the game. 16 pale ales, if you don't mind. Suburb Mornington to
just come off for a spell too. Well deserved.
Yeah, well deserved. Scanlon, he averages about 30 a game, I reckon. Just absolutely dominates, as well as this man Marshall. He went without at that time though. Perry Lewis Smith comes in to chop out. He tries to give a handball away only as far as DeWitt, who's got a good left peg. Sets a shot at goal, pushes it just a bit left, goes through for a minor score. So DeWitt gets Meneliza's 6 point. They'll get a 4-6-30.
Kicking points aren't going to help them, like they
need to start kicking a fair score now because it's going to be too much. 46 points, 8 goals the difference. Going into 3/4 time is just too far away, isn't it, Geordie King? No matter what of the finals time. As Potts kicks it to himself, looks up towards half back. He's got Barfoot and Lewis Smith, goes there now. Gill tries to claim the mark. Umpire said play on Landry at the spill of the ball. Gives a handball up towards DeWitt. Tries to shrug one off, couldn't. Handball went astray. Goes up towards White, who's happy to see the ball out of bounds and out of play. So just in between wing and half forward for the Redlegs. It'll be Hendry and Hammond to do the ruck work. Been a good battle all day. Hammond got on top this quarter. wins that one straight down towards McGannon, goes over the top to Gormley, who then goes to Coates, who runs to about 60. Didn't look where he was kicking, just put it on the boot to the top of the square. It's going to go over Moncrief's head and go out of bounds and out of play. So Coates just needed to slow things down there, lower his eyes and have a look at more options. He just blazed away. Not a bad result though, going out of bounds. They can set up again. Here the red legs. So Hendry to do the ruck work with Hammond. Hammond over the top. Good tap out down towards Gormley. He's a left footer. Right position for him. Left foot snapper goal was good. They finally kick one, the red legs. They'll go to 5-6-36. Plays Pines 12-4-76. Margin back to 40 points. We played 14 minutes in this third term of footy, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
More and more people with a taste for quality are shopping at Eliza Meats. Phone 9787 4473 for a mouth-watering meal fit for a king. See our sponsor Kevin at Eliza Meats, 112B Mount Eliza Way, a station sponsor.
So a much needed goal there for the Redlegs. They started to press here in these last 5 minutes and they weren't getting rewarded on the scoreboard, but they are now. They win that clearance again, goes back towards DeWitt. Wasn't a great kick. He's under some pressure, just bounces off that tackle. Handball was too hot for chopping. Chopped off there by Potts, but he does well there by chopping. Gives it back. He goes with the handball up towards McGannon now. It's an half forward. He's got Malms on the move who can run to 50. Normally a good left peg, sets a ball sail, just pushes it left through for a minor score. So they're starting to get some good opportunities here, Geordie.
Just going to say that they're starting to attack now, Mount Eliza. They're just going to start kicking a couple of more majors.
Yep, they're starting to win that centre battle, aren't they? The clearances are starting to go their way.
Yeah, like Potts was dominating in the second quarter. He's only had one touch this quarter.
Yep, so they're starting to get on top as Boswell goes in towards Scanlon. Nice kick over the top towards Hendry, and then moves it on further just to his brother. So that's Guy Hendry on the wing position, goes up towards Ludwig. He's got 2-on-1, spills over the back, managed to get the ball to ground. Barfoot was first on it, dives on the footy. Tennant Dox dives on him, and the umpire, I reckon, will have to come in, throw the ball up. There's a ball not coming out of play there, so at half forward for the Pythons. Just in front of that Simon Goosey scoreboard, also known as the Rye Hotel scoreboard. It reads Mount Eliza 5-7-37, plays Pines 12-4-76, 15 and a half played in this third term of footy. Ball brought back into play. Coates just dropped the footy. Umpire said play on. Spills out towards Harper Leonard. He gets wrapped up nice and quick. So the umpire again will come and throw the ball up.
It's becoming very overcast now, Locke.
It has. You said the rains might come this afternoon, and it is starting to get pretty dark behind the van, actually, if you look over that right shoulder. Geordie King.
Yes, exactly right.
Bad news for Mount Eliza. I mean, they can't afford for the game to slow up now if they're going to be any chance of getting back in contention. They've still got 6 goals to make up.
Exactly right. So, the ball brought back into play. Quick kick out of half-back from Mount Eliza. Goes up towards Gormley on the wing. Gets it fisted out of bounds and out of play. So Mount Eliza are starting to really drive well off half-back as well. Their half-backs are starting to get into the game. Booth, Nelms running off half-back. You know, they're the players that they need to have driving off that centre square. As McGannon, he's starting to get his hands on the footy in the middle of the ground. Gets that clearance. Handball up towards Mornay. Was too hot for him. He gets quickly wrapped up. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Quick ex-golf around the ground scores like Langwarrin leading Coringal 9-9-63 to 4-5-29.
Wow.
So it looks like they've got that in the bag pretty comfortably at the moment. The Kangaroos, as Pines come out of that centre clearance through Scanlon, finds Brandon Lewis at half forward. He's got Barfoot on the move. Good kick finds him. He wants to reel onto that left quick. Goes to the top of the square. Edwards going to have to fly from behind.
Great, bro.
Just a slight hand on the back. The umpire didn't see it. He was in a pretty bad position. I wouldn't mind seeing a replay of that one, but Edwards has taken a strong mark, about 15 out straight in front, and has the opportunity just to lengthen this gap, Brody.
I would have said the defender there has felt the hand in the back and decided to make every single bit of it, and I don't think it's quite paid off for him. That's just AFL level smarts, you know. He's an experienced player, Aaron Edwards. He knows how to win a contest, and that's brilliant work.
What he does is he sets the ball sail now, never misses those one, Aaron Edwards, so he kicks their 13th. They got a 13-4-82, plays Mount Eliza's 5-7-37. 7.5 played in the Rye Hotel scoreboard as we look up to the Bendigo Bank replay.
Yeah, just strength for me.
Yes, I reckon there was just one little left hand in the back, but I reckon Broads is right. I don't think it was enough to give away a free kick. I think Capkin felt it and dived forward with that little bit of contact, so a bit soft from Capkin. Thank you very much, Peter Sasovic, for the replay around the grounds, mate. We love it. Next week we'll be broadcasting and have stuff from the 2 games of footy. So the ball kicked in by Perry Lewis-Smith. Bongeni one-on-one with Doherty. Nearly wins it. Spills to ground. Edwards tries to swoop through with it. Couldn't. Doherty now. Handball to Leonard. Handball to Capkin. Gets his kick smothered. Edwards is there by himself. Runs around to the top of the square. Left foot snap. Wasn't great. Goes through for a minor score. So it would have been a big goal for Edwards if he had to kick that. That would have put Mount Eliza well and truly out of this game. They wouldn't have been a chance. Probably not a chance at the moment.
Just about the easiest chance he's had for the game, wheeling around.
Sorry, Broads, but the radar's been brought up thanks to Peter Sasovic on the Bendigo Bank replay screen, and doesn't look too bad at all, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like there's not going to be much rain. It's just a bit overcast, and the wind might pick up a little bit. So Hendry goes up, takes position from half back, goes with a poor kick, goes up towards and out of bounds on the full. So it wasn't a great kick there from Hendry. So it'll be Nelms to bring the ball back in for the Red Legs. Goes up towards that Rye Hotel scoreboard. I reckon he's just put it straight back out in the full. He has. So out in the full to out in the full there. It'll be Hendry to bring the ball back in. Goes up towards the pocket. Edwards. He flies, nearly pulls it to ground. Good fist by Capkin, who's the fall of the ball. It was wide, but he threw it. So the free kick will go to Landry. So Landry deep in the defensive pocket here for the Red Legs. He's got Capkin in the goal square. He's got Freeman in the back pocket. So both key forwards playing deep in defence at the moment is not what you want to see for the Red Legs. As you get a bit of short one to find small.
They need 7 goals. Percentage isn't in play. This is finals. You can't be playing your 2 best forwards out of full back.
I wouldn't have thought so. But I suppose they need to do something to lock down Edwards, don't they? Because he's running a mark as the kick comes back in for Pines. Goes up towards an R4. Big fish from behind by Tennant. Goes inboard now to Coates, who just kicks it to a leading Moncrief. That was a beautiful kick. Set it into space. They were all sprinting back towards the goal square because it was a quick transition, and Moncrief just had the pace on Fisher. And it was a beautiful kick, as you heard Brody say there from Blaine Coates. Just set it out to Moncrief's possession, and Moncrief ran on, took an easy mark, Geordie King.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very good player.
Blaine Coates seems to be getting his hands on a bit this quarter.
He's been their best, Mount Eliza's best for me. He's had 6 in this quarter, so starting to get his hands on it.
Yep, so had a big third quarter. It's obviously the premiership quarter for a reason. This is when he's needed to stand up.
Takes his time from 15 out directly in front, doesn't he, John?
He does. Normally a beautiful kick of the footy, so we let him do what he wants. Moncrief now with the right put straight through the hay diddle. So kicks there 6. They'll go to 6-7, 43. Plays Pines 13-5, 83. 40 points of difference on the Rye Hotel scoreboard, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Did you know that the Bendigo Community Bank branches support our local sporting clubs? Our sponsor, the Bendigo Community Bank branches in Rye, Dramana and now in Rosebud, are supporting the local community and putting the people back into banking.
And welcome back to Alexandra Park. A much needed goal there for Mount Eliza. I think they're still in some strife, but they don't want to lose their dignity, do they, Broads?
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I think you've really just kind of got to go for it. You were saying earlier they've got to put more men on Edwards, but so what if they lose by 10 goals? They need to just do something. They need to have a crack.
They do need to have a crack as they drive forward now. Hammond gets it spurred away from him. Mornay with a handball to Small. Goes backwards towards DeWitt. Good left peg from 50. He's going to push it right. Just blazed away there. Had Chopping by himself in the pocket.
Starting to pretty much move the ball exclusively down the corridor now, Mount Eliza. Route 1 straight to goal, which is probably the smart way to go about it.
Yeah, well, like you said, they've got to take the game on, and going through the centre of the ground is the way you got to do it. Obviously, Pines 7 goals up. If they win the ball, then so be it. That's just the way they've got to take it on. As a kick from Pines goes up towards the wing position, finds Ludwig. Quick handball to Scanlon, looks inboard. He's got Lewis Smith, goes in that direction now. Good fist away, but Kyle Jacobson, who's normally super quick, was well and truly easily caught, then dropping the footy. That's a free kick every day of the week. So Naum's good pressure there. We'll get the free kick at centre half back for the Red Legs. Goes in with a short one up towards the wing position. Had to be a good kick. Good fist away there by Ludwig. Hammondo, he had the possession to get a handball away. Wasn't great though. Finds Potts. Potts goes up towards half forward. McDermott or Boswell, take your pick. Boswell takes a mark about 60 out.
He can get the journey from here, Locke.
He can comfortably get the journey here from Nick Boswell. And all his teammates are telling him to have a ping. So a kick from about 55-60. It'll take a good leg. But as we know, Nick Boswell can kick it about 80 on his best day, I reckon, Geordie King.
I reckon you're about right.
He's one of your favourites, no doubt. So Boswell now will kick from 60. Sets the ball sail. It's working back, and he's put it through at half goal post height, straight through the middle as Nick Boswell kicks there 15. Boy, oh boy, that was a brilliant goal. They'll go to 15-5. Plays Mount Eliza's 6-5. And, well, that's just a dampener if you're the Redlegs.
Really enjoyed Nick Boswell's game today. He's taken the game on a few times. He's been caught holding the ball a couple of times, but he's really been one of the players that's been attacking and cutting right through Mount Eliza, and a well-deserved goal there. So, might just be sneaking into the 3-2-1s at the moment, do you think?
So, score 6-8 Mount Eliza to 6-8-44. Plays Pines 14-5, 89. 24 minutes played in this third term of footy. It is. That radar's just doing us absolutely no favours. Said it wasn't going to rain, but the rains are coming. So ball driven in by Mount Eliza. Moncrief tries to come out and meet it. Good fist come from behind, but Landry was first on it. Handball to Small. Shot at goal from 30. Kicks it. So keeps him in a bit of a sniff. They'll go to 7-8-50 to Pines' 14-5, 89. 24 and a half played on the Rye Hotel scoreboard, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Empire Fitness is a new world-class facility located in Rosebud, providing state-of-the-art bodybuilding and fitness training with no joining fees and heavy discounts for the first 200 new members. Discover more at empirefitness247.com.au, a station sponsor.
Close. Welcome back to Alexandra Park. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Lewis Smith tried to kick it off the ground, but free kick was given to Scanlon. So Scanlon will get the free kick for holding the man against Gormley. Goes in with a low dart towards Edwards. Goes through the lot of them. Go towards the goal square now. Bongetti comes out to meet it. Capkin there as well. Strips him of it somehow. Handball inboard to Edwards. Gets stripped to the footy. Dropped it. Umpire said play on. Didn't have prior. So Tennant now tries to come through. Gets tackled as well. Spills down towards Lewis Smith. Gives it to Ludwig. Right snap around the corner. Kicks it. So Pines go to 15-5, 95 to Mount Eliza 7-8-50. And every time Mount Eliza get one back, Pines, they're happy to answer.
How dispiriting's that got to be? As you said, every single time they've kicked a goal, Pines, within not even a minute, just come back and put them right back where they belong.
They have every time just had an answer, and that's what's been best for them today, George. I'd be interested for some ball winners through the middle of the ground today in Pines.
Yeah, Paul Scanlon's up to 21, like he's been real good.
Yeah, so he's probably been their best today, there's no doubt.
One of my favourite players, built like an absolute brick. Something else.
Yeah,
there he is again.
There he is. Handball back towards White, coming off half back. Looks up towards half forward. Ludwig, the man who just kicked the goal, gets it fisted away by Nelms. McGannon now at the forward ball. Handball inside to DeWitt. Runs towards centre half back. Looks across the face of the ground. He's got to play a loose, but Boswell somehow stuck the one juke in. He got a fist away. Jackson tries to run onto the ball now. Can't. Gets wrapped up by John. The umpire happy to come in and throw the ball up. So the ball at centre half back for the Redlegs. Hendry wins that one down towards himself, tries to get a kick away. Umpire said advantage, was holding the ball, so Chopping gets possession of the footy, left foot, tries to bend it back, couldn't. Goes through for a minor score. So Mount Eliza will go to 7-9-51. So 44 points the difference here. 51 plays 95, 26 and a half played. I wouldn't have thought the three-quarter time siren will be too far off as White brings the ball back in, goes up towards Hendry. Good kick, just set it out to the advantage of Hendry, ran onto it, strong mark. So Hendry at half back for the Pythons. Looking up towards half forward, he's got Ludwig on the move, goes short instead, finds Marshall. So Marshall takes a mark at half back, just asking his players to slow down now. Let's slow things down, he says. Another short one over the top, finds McDermott. So they'll just try and find loose men now, I would have thought, the Pythons, as McDermott has to move on. He's just going to go up towards half-backs in a long high one. Hope Edwards can fly from behind. He'll fly now. Big fist comes from Capkin, who's at the fall of the ball, barefoot. He's first on it, but gets quickly wrapped up. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up right in front of the Rye Hotel scoreboard that reads Mount Eliza 7-9-51, plays Pines 15-5, 95. 27 and a half played on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. Ball brought back into play. Small first on it, shrugs off a tackle, but Marshall was all over him like a cheap suit. Tackled him, pinged him holding the ball, and he'll get the free kick. So Marshall, who had a really strong first quarter and set his game up for the Pythons, on the wing position with possession of the footy, looks up towards half forward. He's got a couple of movers. One of them is Hendry. Goes in that direction now. Hammond tries to come through the big fist. Couldn't get the fist on the footy, so spills to ground. And gets wrapped up there in Scanlon.
16th pale ale for Lockie Marshall. He's been really good for the Pines today.
He has. They've That's where they've won the game, isn't it? Safe to say, Geordie King, just through that middle of the ground.
Yeah, the clearances, getting the tap outs from Bo Hendry, so done really well.
Yeah, they have. It was always going to be where the battle was won. Whoever could drill it into their forward line first was going to be the victors, no doubt, and it's been Pines. So Scanlon now just with a short one up towards Ludovic, gets bounces off his chest. Wilcox comes through, handball went astray. Tennant chips it off. He goes up towards the wing position, but clearly didn't look as Hendry stood the hole. Well done, Sam Mornay, though, to get the fist in, get it out of bounds and out of play. Old Tuna Mornay.
All made playing.
So be some interested in the ex-golf scores around the ground. If you could, George, even some AFL scores wouldn't go astray.
Yeah, well, first we'll go with the Langwarrin-Kooringal game. Langwarrin 11-10-76 to Kooringal 5-5-35.
So getting the job done by 41 points there. The Kangaroos pretty similar to this game at the moment as Edwards spills the ball, goes up towards half forward, but there's the three-quarter time siren right in the back of Brodie's ear. Every time Brodes hears it, he jumps out the front of the van, he panics. So boys, the score at three-quarter time will read 7-9-51, plays 15-5-95. 29 minutes was played in that third term of footy. It's 44 points of difference. Going to be an extremely tough task for Eliza to come back and win this last quarter. They've almost got to double their score. Boys, we'll go to a quick break and come back to you with the three-quarter time wrap. You're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Hi, I'm Jack, and my dad is Pete from the Mornington and Rosebud Telstra stores. I just want to let you know, NBN is coming to the Mornington Peninsula, and all of our team are here to help. It's as simple as a face-to-face chat with one of the team to help get your NBN service up and running in no time. So drop into Telstra stores in Mornington.
So join me for your drive home, 4 to 6 p.m. Tuesdays here on RPPFM.
And welcome back to Alexandra Park. The scoreboard reads after three-quarter time, 7-9-51, plays Pines 15-5-95, 44 points the difference. Massive ask for the Redlegs to come back from this one, Geordie King.
Bit out of reach for mine, Lock.
You reckon the fat lady's singing?
Yeah, with these overcast conditions as well, it's not in their favour.
So with Michael Voss missing, you're the one to call the game. Interesting. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Hendry won that first one down towards Scanlon, who gets quickly wrapped up there by Landry. So still hasn't moved from that centre of the ground now. Hendry decisively down towards Scanlon. Stolen there by Goonan. Drives on the footy now is Marshall. Gets quickly wrapped up there by Landry.
Just a few ex-golf around the ground scores, Lock. We've got Langwarrin 12-10-82 doing the job over Kooringal pretty comfortably 5-5-35. And few AFL scores in the very vital round. West Coast getting the job done over Brisbane by 26, and Melbourne currently leading the Giants by 7 points.
Thanks very much to ex-golf Mornington. Thank you, Geordie King, for bringing those from around the ground, mate. Boys back in the middle of the ground now. Decisively won by Hendry, down towards Johns. Handball then to Parker, who goes up towards centre half forward, chopped off there by Freeman. So Freeman looks to move it on quickly. They've got to take the game on here, the Redlegs. Handball to Nelms, goes up towards Moncrief on a big strong lead. He calls chopping back, comes in. Good fist from behind there by Fisher. Goes out of bounds and out of play. Broads, mate, you're out there at three-quarter time listening to what both coaches had to say. I'll be a lot more interested in what Troy Shannon was talking about.
Before I could even get to Mount Eliza, they broke up. I think that Pines were talking for a couple of minutes extra, so I didn't actually get to hear what Troy Shannon had to say, but I'll touch on what Paddy Swain had to say in just a second.
That's all right, mate. Go for it.
Oh, well, I will go for it. It was just interesting to note a little tidbit of news as well around the huddle. I did notice Trent Dennis-Lane, who's just been announced as co-coach at Bond Beach, maybe picking up a thing or two from Paddy Swain, being one of the best in the biz that he is. Things are all pretty calm, a few smiles, tucking into the lollies over there at the three-quarter time huddle. The only thing was he noted that they did start to get down on the clearances in that third term, so he was looking for a little bit more in there.
A little bit more out of the guts. That's where Mount Eliza started to win the footy. That was obvious as Potts goes up towards half forward, chopped off there by Chopping. Funny that, isn't it? Chopped off by Chopping. Goes towards a wing position now. Landry goes without it. Comes back towards McDermott. Sweeping handball back to half back. Finds Thomas, who then goes to Potts. Looks up towards the half forward line now. Marshall gets it well fisted away there by Nelms. And it's happily met there by Ludovic to go out of bounds and out of play. So Mount Eliza, 44 points down. We played 2.5 in this last term. Very, very tough ask. They're kicking uphill here at Alexandra Park. I can't see him getting the job done. It's just too much, not the way Pines are playing. Something has to go horribly wrong, I would have thought. As Hendry jumps on the footy, players jump on him. The umpire will come in and get another possession on the wing position. Should have been keeping the umpires posies today, George.
Not all about the umpires, like.
It's not all about the umpires, but there is 3 teams out there on the day, isn't there, Judy King?
Technically, yes.
So the wing, brought back up now. Parker gets possession of the footy, goes with a sweeping handball up towards Barfoot at half forward, who kicks it off the ground towards Johns, just taps it forward, finds White, handball to Potts, who's on his left foot snap goes towards Bongetti, goes just through for a minor score instead over his head just. So the score will read 15-6-96. So 45 points up now, the Pythons, to be brought back in by Capkin. So Capkin, who, as we touched on in that second quarter, was a man to go back towards Edwards. He's done a pretty good job since, I would have thought. Goes with a long one up towards a wing position, fisted away there by Hammond, who's at the fall of the ball. Booth, happy to see the ball out of bounds and out of play. So good physical pressure there by Tommy McDermott. As Geordie King's touched on, Jacobson, McDermott, their forward pressure's been brilliant.
Absolutely.
Today.
Sure has, mate.
So the ball brought back into play now. Hendry just easily down towards Potts, who gets tackled without it. Umpire said play on. Goonan takes possession of the footy, goes back inboard towards McGannon. Good handball there, finds Landry, goes inboard, was a poor handball. Scanlon chops it off, goes back now to Hendry, who's just floated across half back all day, been super. Goes into a short one, finds McDermott. So McDermott now in the wing position, goes for another short one, finds Marshall. So Marshall, just in between the wing and half forward here. Got a couple of movers forward, Barfoot one of them. Instead he's just going to go long and strong. Bongetti will fly with Edwards. Edwards coming now from the back. Big fist comes from Hammond, who's at the fall at Ludwig. He looks around, he's going to play a loose. Good vision. Lovely vision there, Aaron Ludwig. Jacob Boyle had just snuck forward from the wing position and had no one following him in. Took an easy mark, but beautiful kick there from Ludwig, Jordan.
Absolutely. It's why they're winning, I would have thought. Great vision, using their vision really well.
Could have easily blazed away and just gone for the big right foot snap around the corner from 40, but instead lowered those eyes, had a look across the face, and Jacob Boyle on the end of it.
It's real good team footy, like.
It is. That's what they play best, Pines. They really set up themselves well and play together strongly. So Boyle will kick from about 40, not much of an angle, pushes it left, not even going to trouble the score as that one goes out of bounds and out on the full. So it'll be Doherty, in fact it'll be Tennant, again getting those ball noggins mixed up to bring the ball back in, goes up towards half back, flies now is Hammond, good fist comes from Hendry, but Hammond did well to get on the fall of the ball, just kicks it up towards half forward now, coming out to meet it is Moncrief with Thomas. That was going to be a big collision in fact, goes down towards Coates, met solidly there by Potts, and just fists the ball out of bounds and out of play. As Hendry comes in and gives Coates one. So Coates has been a pretty big ball winner for Eliza in this second half of footy, probably kept them in it arguably. Ball brought back into play, Hendry wins that tap out only as far as his opposition ruckman. Gets taken to ground without the footy. So we get the free kick for that one. Too far out to score here though, Hammond, so he wants some movers. Moncrief moving for him now, out towards the pocket though. It's a bit of a nothing spot. He's just going to sit it to the hot spot. Freeman coming from the side, but Hendry, who's done it all day, just drifts in, takes an easy, uncontested intercept mark.
That loose man has absolutely killed Mount Eliza. There's no other way to put it. They've been so dominant coming out of defence, Pines.
It's been killing every side they come up against, Pines, as he goes out towards half back, towards his brother, towards Bo. Chop the mark and goes out of bounds and out of play. Appealing for a free kick for pushing the back. Wasn't there, said the umpire. So on the 50-metre line, the ball's brought back into play. Hendry wins that one. Straight down towards Scanlon, who goes with a quick kick up towards Edwards on the wing position. Good fist comes from Capkin there, but McDermott's going to be first on it. Oh, goes without it. Couldn't pick the ball up. Unlucky bounce. Capkin comes through now. Tries to sell some candy. Gets a handball away. Only as far as Jacobson. It goes back towards Potts. He just sits it up towards half forward. Edwards will fly uncontested. Couldn't bring it down. First on it, Ludwig. Sam Gill comes through with the footy now. Good by him. Gets a handball away. He gets it wrapped up quick there. The umpire said it was a throw, so Lewis stole it from him. Goes up towards Bongetti on the lead. Flies from behind. Takes it.
Right.
Somehow he's pulled that in. Don't know how. Tennant not too happy. Said it come off my hands, but Bongetti just reached over the top. And with the two Dukes, plucked it. And will kick from about 40 straight in front.
Mason Witt just holding his knee there from previous contest. Must have just twinged it slightly.
Who's that, sorry?
Mason DeWitt from Eliza Lock.
Keep an eye on that one for us, John. He's a pretty handy player to have go down.
Well, he's had 11 so far, so he's been pretty influential for them, even though they're losing.
So Bongo has the opportunity to extend this lead out to 51 points. Biggest margin of the day. He'll kick from about 40, sets a ball sail, starts at left. It's going to stay left, goes through for a minor score. Didn't look great off the foot.
Bit of a lazy kick, but they can afford to kick their feet back a little bit now, Pines, to
They
be
can
honest.
extend the lead out to 46. It's game over, isn't it?
This would be about the time where your uncle would start doing some high-pitched singing if you'd like to take that responsibility.
Yes, and I'm glad he's not here to do that because it disturbs me every single time.
Yeah, not a good voice.
7-9-51 plays 15-7-97. 8 minutes played in this last term. I reckon the fat lady has definitely warmed up those chords, and I reckon she is singing. Ball brought back into play. Was a poor kick there from Booth.
I don't even know if he got a boot on
the replay there
over as he was kicking it.
If we can get the replay on that one, that'd be great. But it was pretty average there from Buddha, who's a seasoned campaigner. Not normally the man to make mistakes is Buddha. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Ball back into play. Mornay, that's Tudor Mornay, gets possession of the foot. He goes for a sweeping handball over the top towards Goonan. First to meet it there was DeWitt instead. He sends a fist out towards the boundary line.
Not been half bad, your boy Tuna, today. He's probably been one of the better Mount Eliza performers, I would have thought.
Tend to agree. Free kick here for Mount Eliza. The man of Goonan.
Good kick in the middle. Finds Tennants. Will assess his options up further on the field now. He looks out towards the wing. It's Jimmy Freeman, who's had a very quiet game today by his standards. Kicked 30 goals for the year, and I don't think he's kicked a major today. Into the middle, another turnover though. He'll find Harley Parker.
So Parker now goes quickly. Just didn't look where he was kicking that then, Parker. Finds Capkin, so Capkin just chipped it off. Goes up towards the wing position now. Finds Landry. Landry with a strong mark in front of Ludwig. Looks to move it on quickly. Goes up towards Booth now. Takes a strong mark at half forward. Needs to butter up after that last effort. Good kick. Straight towards Moncrief. Good fist there by Jonzo. First on it was Jackson. He can run into towards the goal. Sets a ball sail. Pushes it right. Through for a minor score. So just the wrong side there for a left footer in Jackson. We'll kick their 10th behind. They'll go to 7-2-52.
Aaron Edwards taking the kick in.
Interesting.
No man's land.
Ever since I've been calling footy, even last year with the great toe punt, never seen Aaron Edwards in the defensive 50, so I guess there's a first time for everything.
Just trying some new things, you know. They've got a bit of a lead, may as well.
Get some run into the legs, Broads.
Yeah.
Maybe put him on the ball, see if he can cause a muck in there. As Henry wins that ruck tap out. Just goes with a quick one up towards the wing position now. Parker in a foot race with Gill. Parker wins it. Tries to keep it in play. Couldn't. Umpire will throw the ball back in.
I think he just wants some extra pale ales, Aaron Edwards. A couple more beverages for him.
Yeah, coming off an ACL injury as well. It's been super impressive, Aaron Edwards, this season. Played less games, everyone else topped the goal kicking easily. Ball is thrown in. Hendry and Hammond to contest again. Ball falls short, and we're going to have another crack at it.
Geez, we wouldn't get that from the great Ferrari Jordan King, would we?
That's silly, Lachlan.
Very strong right arm on him. How he got that? Well, we'll leave that up to the listeners' imagination. Ball comes back in again. Hammond in over the top. Good tap. Not been excellent today with Hendry being on top of the contest, but he did well to win that one. Held in for another ball up. So not a lot to fight for now, Mount Eliza. You'd think they'd just take it easy and make sure they don't get any injuries before a big final next week. They'll have to come back. They do get the second chance, which is lucky. Ball comes out over the top. Mount Eliza try to win possession through Freeman. He can't get a hold of it. The tackle laid by Mount Eliza. Can't quite see the Pines player in possession over on the far side of the wing. And we'll bring it in for another ball up. Been a very stoppage-heavy game today, hasn't it? A very, very stop-start.
It has.
Two sides that can open up the game the way they can. It's been a bit disappointing, but unfortunately that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, on a small ground like this, Broads, it's what that contested footy brings, no doubt. As a quick kick comes from that congestion up towards Edwards at half forward. Goes with a sweeping handball to Ludwig, then to Jacobson, then towards the goal square in Barfoot. He's tied on the boundary, right foot stabbed towards the top of the square. No, came off the wrong side of the foot and will go out of bounds and out of play on the full. So the free kick will go to Mason DeWitt.
So Pines have been so dangerous though. That transition from midfield to the forward 50 just has been happening so quickly for them. They've been excellent. So the ball comes out now from Mount Eliza through the guts. Over the top of their man, it'll come to ground. Pines will win possession at half back. The tackle laid there by Blaine Coates, and we'll have another ball up. Seems every time the call is handed to me, we just end up with stoppage-laden football. Opens up as soon as our man Lockie gets on it. But we'll have another crack at it. Hendry in the ruck, wins the easy tap. Comes down, Coates tries to lay another tackle. The tackle is laid by Gormy there. Mount Eliza with the inside 50. Off Moncrief's chest. It bounces up. The contest is tough at the moment. Moncrief wins the ball, met with a harsh tackle, and it's going to be holding the footy. And doesn't he know about it? They're really tearing into him, Jordan Moncrief. It's been a difficult afternoon for him. And he's getting an earful from the Pines players. Don't you love to see that? Mark taken by Wilcox out. It's the half-back flank now. He's got plenty of options forward. They're not going to work too hard, Pines. The work's already been done. Ball turned over there. Ryan McGannon able to take the mark, and they can rebound now. Looks into the middle. He's got Freeman starting to finally get his hands on the footy now. Hands it off in the long kick inside the forward 50. Hendry tries to take the mark over the back. It's going to come off hands. It's running along the boundary, and it will run over the boundary for another throw-in.
Paul Scanlon, 25 touches for him today. He's been outstanding for the Pythons. Absolutely dominating, along with Luke Potts, who's got 19.
Yeah, I reckon he's pretty comfortably best on at the moment, Chewy Scanlon. As the ball's brought back into play, Coates just straight off the back of the pack, tried to get through, kick off the ground, well done McDermott. Just on the last line of defence there to get that fist through for a minor score. So Eliza will go to 7-11-53, plays Pines 15-7-97, 14 minutes played in this last term.
How good's this man been today? Potts with the ball.
He has. They've all been good, that midfield. Marshall, Potts, Scanlon's been brilliant. Hendry in the ruck. They've had a brilliant performance from all 22 today, the Pythons, no doubt, as Potts goes up towards half back. Good fist come from DeWitt behind, goes out of bounds and out of play. They're right in front of that Rye Hotel scoreboard. Says we've played 14 and a half minutes in this last term of football. Well and truly out of Mount Eliza's hands now. 44 points the difference. As the umpire's picked a free kick, it's going to go here to Mason DeWitt. Just comes one around the chops. So DeWitt, too far out to score. Just going to go backwards short. Finds Ryan. So Ryan on the wing position. No time for going sideways and backwards. You need to go forwards. Goes backwards now. Finds Tennant. Who's going to go even further backwards. So they've gone from half forward to about 40 out from defensive goal. Finds Capkin, who goes further up now. Finds Coates on wing position. Who looks inboard. He's got Harper Leonard. Good kick, finds Leonard. Now they're off. Handball to McGannon, who goes over the top to Goonan. Thomas was just a bit lost, who runs to about 40 now. Goonan sets a ball sail. Looks pretty good, kicks it. So a good goal there from Goonan, who's been rewarded for a pretty good game of footy. They'll go to 8-11-59, plays Pines 15-7-97. That's on the Rye Hotel scoreboard. We've played 15 and a half in this last term, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Hi, I'm Jack, and my dad is Pete from the Mornington and Rosebud Telstra stores. I just want to let you know, NBN is coming to the Mornington Peninsula, and all of our team are here to help.
Call us now on 1300 My Telstra. That's 1300 698 357.
Welcome back to Alexandra Park here in Mornington. Pines well and truly on top. Mount Eliza's goal, too little too late. 15 minutes played in the final term. They are still a long way back. Just waiting for the restart of play. The umpire casually strolling his way into the middle with the ball. No great rush. It'll be Hammond and Hendry to contest again. Guy Hendry been one of Pines' better players on the day. Wins the tap there, comes down to ground. Tries to win the clearance. It bobbles along the ground though. Nobody can get clean possession. Finally the hands come out to Marshall. He looks inside 50. It's over the head of Aaron Edwards, and the mark is taken the defensive 50 for Mount Eliza, who can rebound now. Options considered forward. Long down the wing on the far side. Trying to take the mark there was Brandon Lewis, but couldn't quite win it. The mark is taken by DeWitt instead for Mount Eliza. He's going to look centrally through the corridor. He's got Freeman floating in at the back of the pack. Hammond tries to take the mark. It comes down to ground. Nick Boswell, who's been good, tries to take on a man and lays out the handball. It's Luke Potts who goes with the forward kick now into the centre of the ground. Punch comes in. It's towards Pines' goal again. Ball to grounds. Mount Eliza trying to win possession. A tackle, didn't have the footy. Umpire spots it. They're going to get the free kick now, Pines. They get a chance to settle the game down. No, it's going to go Mount Eliza's way, actually. They'll need to get it forward. Will he look to the top of the square or decide to play it short? Time running out. Mount Eliza. It's now or never. Freeman at the back of the pack. Does well, takes the mark. He's had a quiet game today, Jimmy Freeman. He spent a lot of time down in defence. I don't know if he's kicked the goal today. I don't know if we've got that stat, but
kicked a goal.
This is a good opportunity for him. 35 out on only the slightest angle, and he's a good kick for goal on his day, I think. Behind Moncrief, he'd be Mount Eliza's second highest scorer for the year, wouldn't he?
You are right there. Jimmy Freeman obviously being called up the last couple of weeks towards the VFL in Casey Scorpions, so We know he's a beautiful kick of the footy. Is Jimmy Freeman, as Brode said, just hasn't got his hands on the footy at all today. Have to play defence. Sets a ball sail now, pushes it right. So put the Moz on him. Kicks a minor score. They'll go to 8-12-60. Plays Pines 15-7-97. 17 and a half played on the Roy Hotel scoreboard. Some live scores around the ground. Thank you to X-Golf Mornington. 7-6-48 Coringal. Plays Langwarren 12-10-82. So 34 points the difference. Down at RJ Rowley Reserve. Langwarren looked to be pretty well and truly home there. So good for the Kangaroos. Just scraped into finals and they've won the first two. Kick comes from Pines up half back, up towards half forward. Hammond with a big fist from behind gets it down towards DeWitt, who's quickly well tackled down towards the ground there by Barfoot. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up. So just in between the far wing and half forward for the Pythons. Hendry decisively over the top to Scanlon, who doesn't take possession of the footy, just thumps it forward towards wide at half forward. Well done there, Sam Gill, to come through and chop it off. Happy to see the ball out of bounds now to play. So about 60 out from Python's goal. Hendry, Hammond to do the ruck work. Hendry bodies him out, takes possession of the footy, kicks it to the top of the square. Big fist there comes from Capkin. Thomas, though, just stood at the 50 and said thank you very much. Runs around his opponent, runs to 50, goes towards Edwards, who just sat by himself on the goal line. Capkin thought it was going through for a score, but Edwards smartly just floated back to the line, took the mark, goes short inboard, finds Perry Lewis-Smith about 30 out straight in front.
Very disciplined from the full forward there to try and find the target that's got a better position in front of goal rather than taking the snap for himself. You'd think that an ex-AFL player like him might like a snag at the end of the game from the boundary, might look good. But
he's kicked enough, I would have thought, hasn't he?
Share it around. That move started with Guy Hendry taking it directly out of the ruck. He's done that, I reckon, 3 or 4 times today. He's just been dominant.
I reckon Hendry's a pretty close best on with Scanlon for me anyway, as Perry Lewis-Smith walks into an open goal, kicks it pretty comfortably. So they'll go to 16-7, 103 to Manalisers, 8-12-60. 19 and a half played in this last term of footy, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
Visit X-Golf Indoor Golf Simulator Centres now and enjoy a golfing hospitality and entertainment experience like no other. X-Golf is ideal for work events, birthday parties, corporate functions and bucks nights. For more information, go to xgolf.com.au. X-Golf, think beyond the green. A station sponsor.
Welcome back to Alexandra Park. Ball back in the middle of the ground. Lewis-Smith just to kick the goal. Handball out towards Boswell. Goes up towards Edwards on a big, strong lead. Big, strong mark. Aaron Edwards takes it about 55, 60 out from goal. Probably too far out to score. So a couple of players move for him now. White, one of them. He looks across the face. Wilcox coming in. Just fisted out Scanlon. They hip and shouldered each other. They both wanted a goal, and Wilcox ends up taking the mark. About 45 out straight.
Of all the teammates he'd want to get in your way, you wouldn't want it to be Paul Scanlon. I'll tell you what, that is a Mack truck that I certainly would not like to meet head on. He's a big unit. I can barely take my eyes off him.
Oh
boy.
No, I agree, bro. He's a very large man and very hard to get around. As you saw, Wilcox just bounced off him. He sets the ball sail from 50 now. Wilcox is going to fall short, and somehow Bo Hendry tries to claim the mark, but the umpire said nope, you grabbed that at twice, so it's through for a minor score. So Pines will go to 16-8. They just extend their lead by another point as Capkin just goes long and strong straight up the middle. Kicks it straight towards the centre circle. That's a thumping kick. Takes possession of the footy now. His Coates gets well wrapped up there by Varfoot. Umpire said play on. And he's picked a free kick here to Tennant. Boys, something we haven't noticed, and I reckon is a fair reason why Freeman and Capkin have had to play in defence, is have not sided Doherty since the second quarter. Obviously a bit late to pick up now, but Doherty, I think he's definitely injured himself because he hasn't taken any part in this last half. Either that or he's just been dragged and not welcome to play the last half because he hasn't been any good. As the kick goes in forward towards Moncrief, big strong mark, good kick there from Ryan McGannett.
Normally not hard to spot Kyle Doherty, the shiny head he is. You can just about see your own reflection in it from here.
No, well, I'm still getting them mixed up. Tennant, Doherty, and one of them's not even on the field. So not bad by me, eh? It says a lot about my commentating career.
It's not that good.
So Moncrief now has the opportunity just to kick a goal for himself, really.
Yeah, it's all done. You got Bongetti, Potts and Guy Hendry are all taking spells on the bench. We're into time on. It's game over. Pines are going to be thinking ahead to Sereno next week, but Mount Eliza, this will just be a nice little consolation.
It'll be good for Moncrief to go back and kick one. Pretty happy with it, straight through the middle. Beautiful kick of the footy, Geordie Moncrief. Kicks there. Ninth, they'll go to 9-12-66, plays Pines 16-8-104. 22 and a half played in this last quarter, and you're listening to RPPFM, the voice of Peninsula football.
The Rye Hotel's been around for 80 years and is renowned for their good old-fashioned service and hospitality. Phone 5985-2277 or visit the Rye Hotel at 2415 Point Nepean Road, Rye.
And welcome back to Alexandra Park. Ball back in the middle of the ground, Eliza. They just get one for consolation as Scanlon straight through the pack. Handballs it back towards Boswell, goes without it, so Marshall now comes in for assistance. Well wrapped up there by Tuna Mornay. Been good today, Tuna Mornay, George?
Tuna Mornay has been very good luck. So has Blaine Raincoats for Eliza.
Oh, Blaine Raincoats. Just not bad from you there, George.
Very seafood-styled kind of nicknames we've got going on. Ball comes out from Eliza. Finally, they're starting to win a bit of the footy. It comes towards Moncrief in the forward 50. He's muscled out of the contest by Jack Fisher as the ball runs over the boundary line for a throw-in. Been better in this last half, Mount Eliza, and even better in these last few minutes, but it's all come too little too late. They've actually managed to peg the lead back from what it was at half-time, so they haven't been bad, but the damage had already been done. Tap one by Hammond and ball comes to ground. It'll be tucked in for another baller. Again, a very stoppage-heavy game. We're in 24 minutes played at the moment. You'd think we'd probably have another few in the tank. I think Guy Hendry is still off the ground, so Daniel John contesting the ruck at the moment for for Pines. Wins the tap well there to Scanlon. Gets about his 100th possession of the day and wins the clearance from out of defence. Doesn't find a man though. It comes to ground again. Mount Eliza desperately trying to win possession and salvage some sort of pride from this game, but it's going to be locked in again for another ball up. Actually, no, I think we've got an over-the-shoulder free kick, so Mount Eliza will get a chance to go forward. It does come into the forward 50, and we've got Shopping taking a mark, who can take a set shot out from 45 metres out on about a 35-degree angle. He's taken a few marks inside forward 50, Shopping. He's not a bad player to have around when you've got Moncrief, and who's had a quiet game, and you've got
Freeman and
Freeman playing on the defence. So kicks him outside of the 50, and it's over for a behind. Never a shot. Never a chance.
So Scanlon, Bongetti and Hendry, three of the players that are sitting on the bench currently for the Pythons, so they won't take any further part in this game, purely just to rest them and make sure that their bodies are right to take on Sorrento next week. Mount Eliza, they'll go to Chelsea to take on YCW. That'll be a brilliant battle.
A cracker.
Big rivalry between both of those sides. So the ball brought back into play by Pines. It was Boswell, just sent it long straight up towards the centre of the ground, and the umpire's picked a free kick. It's going to go to Tuna Mornay, who's been a battler today for the Redlegs, been pretty good. Goes in with a short one towards Small, who's also been pretty good for the Redlegs. Good to see their kids being their better players as Small goes up towards half forward. Shopping goes over his head. Good work there by another young kid who's been good in Luca Goonan. Just finds him from the side, take a strong mark. Chopping just drifted out the back by himself there. Obviously Johns, who was his direct opponent, has gone into the ruck, so defenders just lost touch of him. Has the opportunity to butter up from his last effort and kick, or have a shot at goal about 45 out on a similar angle just on the other side of the ground. Left footer, it's an absolute shank. Somehow it's going to work for him.
Beautiful pass to Moncrief. Absolutely stunning work there from Goonan.
I would love a replay of that, because I reckon that's nearly come off his heel. It was that bad of a kick. So the replay, Bendigo Bank replay, will be coming up shortly. Obviously, a new addition to the RPPFM team today, the Bendigo Bank replays. Peter Sasovic, he's a brilliant man with those Apple Macs in the back. He's all over it. So as Brody said, I reckon it's come off his heel. We're getting the replay now.
Shopping it was.
Pushes it right there, Moncrief, so goes to it for a minor score. So, that came off the left heel of Chopping. That was a poor kick. Moncrief just found himself right spot, right time, but the Pines crowd pretty happy to let Moncrief know that he took his full 30 seconds and still kicked it behind. So what was the point in taking so long? We've got a 9:14:68, plays Pines 16-8, 104-27 exactly on the clock being played in the last term of footy.
On the what clock?
On the clock. So it's Hendry now with a short one over the top to Lewis Smith. That was a bit of a cock-up, wasn't it, bro?
A bit of a clock-up, yeah.
So Lewis Smith goes backwards towards Hendry now. Nice kick finds Hendry, so Hendry at half-back. With possession, the footy just going to go with a short one over the top, looking for Jacobson, the shortest man in the field. Somehow gets the footy, handball across towards Harley Parker. Goes with a sweeping handball back towards Marshall. So Marshall goes up towards half forward, and Edwards with a very strong mark. Aaron Edwards about 45 out from goal. Has the opportunity to kick. I think he's 6th for the day, or maybe 5th.
Or 7th. Either or.
No, I think it might be 5th.
Okay, like we'll go
I think
5.
he's kicked 4.
Okay, all right, we'll go.
All in
that
the second quarter, I believe they were from Aaron Edwards.
Yeah. So he's just been another threat today and just adds a whole another dimension to that finals team. And there's the full-time siren. So Edwards, just to put a bit of icing on the cake, will set the ball sail, and he kicks it.
Stop it.
Somehow he's kicked that. He was on Main Street of Mornington there, Aaron Edwards, and he's kicked a drop punt straight to the diddle just to put the icing on the cake. They'll go to 17-8, 110. And the Redlegs, well, they'll finish on 10-8, 68. And, well, Pines were just well and truly better on the day, Brodie Cowburn.
Absolutely, and Troy Shannon, we know that sometimes can work up a little bit of a temper. He's not going to be happy, especially with the first half performance of his Mount Eliza boys. They worked back a little bit of respect, and I think, having a look at the scores, they did win the second half by maybe a point, but they just were absolutely not good enough in the first half. The game was over and done with by that main break, and Mount Eliza just offered pretty much nothing, so he'll certainly be having some very stern words to his players, you'd think.
Yep, I remember watching a game last year where the great man in Troy Shannon